is another week gone. Another week as we tick closer towards the apocalypse. But while we do, let's remember to have a good time and enjoy it. So welcome. You are in the sub-basement of the internet, the Vegematic channel. Thank you so much for being here. I don't know how you got here, unless it was through Sandy Shellis, because Sandy over at Environmental Coffee House has sent other people here that have subscribed and got me excited again about doing the Vegematic show. So great big hugs and great big love to Sandy at Environmental Coffee House. Also, I'd like to say hello, friend, to my friend Brian Weinstein over at Divided We Stand channel, which has become a Saturday night ritual for me to go over there and be in the chat. And he has some interesting thoughts, and he's been kind of having a hard time because his co-host has been having some problems and hasn't been able to appear on the show for a while. So let's send out healing vibes. Anyway, that being said, I'm tired of people saying, I stand with things. I stand with Ukraine. I stand with Biden. I don't stand with anybody. I sit on my ass because I'm too lazy to get up off of it and stand for anybody. So I stand for nothing at this point. I stand for nobody. I stand for nothing. I sit on my ass, and that's all there is to it. You notice there's this deep sense of darkness and ennui amongst everybody. There's this sense of gloom. And maybe it's because it's been raining here and cold and yucky for the last few days. And you know, when you get the few days of really like no sunlight, it gets to you. And it's not just that gets to you, but it seems like even on a bright sunny day, there's this sense of impending doom. There's going to be some very, very strange and interesting times ahead of us all. And whether or not we survive is a question that only future generations will be able to answer with any certainty. I'm sure they will despise all of us. Do you ever wonder if you took every great moment that you've had in your life, every single one where you felt joy, you were just glad to be alive and happy that the sun was shining, and you strung them all together, how long would it be? And would it be a full day? Would it be a week? Maybe 3 weeks where you're just ecstatic, happy, glad to be alive, the universe is on your side and clicking with you. How long do you think each of us in our lives has to experience the joy, and if you strung it all together? So the point is, you string all the times that you felt wonderful about life and the rest of the time and add it all up, and you'll realize pretty soon that life totally sucks. So just a thought, if you want to leave a comment about it or something. You know that the comments are the lifeblood of this channel, and without them my life would be empty. So don't hesitate to leave comments, because I'm a lonely guy. I'm old, I'm fading away, and I'm in this fabulous basement studio here in London, Ontario, Canada, the armpit of Canada, and that's why I named it Armpit Studios. And it has the facilities that you would expect a studio of this quality to have. Yeah, it's not as good as it's not as good as it could be. Okay, I'll admit it. Okay, so it sucks. You had to remind me. So I guess down in the US, the mid-squirms are coming up. They're squirming all over the place. And I'd say, you want to watch something crazy, just watch American politics. It's the most fascinating thing. The crazy conspiracy theories, the dog torture, the extreme craziness in the court system, and you have a nation that is really scary. Why is it that the media always decides who's going to win elections? Now this happened to us in the province of Ontario here, and nobody voted because the press said flatulent Ford was destined to have a majority, and so most people didn't bother to vote. Now this is the crisis that we face, because now he's decided to let our healthcare system go to rot and ruin so he can privatize it. So this is going on all over the place, and people have had enough with neoliberal bullshit. Look what happened to Liz Truss. And the same thing is going to happen everywhere, because people are not going to take this bullshit any longer. I remember after Tiananmen Square happened, and the students got massacred in the streets, and it was horrendous. And I went to this big protest, and we were outraged, and we said, no, this is wrong. Stop trading with China. And of course, money was more important back then, like it is now. It wasn't quite as important as it is now, but it was still America's God. So I went to this huge protest, and we were standing there and yelling and screaming, and I decided right there I wasn't going to buy any Chinese goods. So at the time, it was still possible to buy North American goods goods made in a first world country. So I began my great boycott. Well, that didn't work out too well, because the stores gradually became more and more filled with this stuff, and the quality went down, and it was cheap, and people just went, well, look, it's cheap. Where's it made? I don't care. I don't look where it care. I don't really care. It's cheap. And of course, this went on for quite a few years until London, Ontario became part of the Rust Belt, like the American Midwest. And so all the industrial jobs were gone because you just could not compete with slave labor. And neoliberalism smiled and said, isn't this wonderful? We're bringing the world out of poverty. The same poverty that people over making your iPhones, they had to put a suicide net underneath it because people couldn't take it anymore and were jumping off of it. And if I had to work on those damn things, I'd probably jump off the damn thing too. It's crazy. And it's just gone on for too long. And I say people have had enough of this austerity, trickle-down bullshit that has failed us for 50 years, and it's time to grow up and say, we need a return on our investment. Not the billionaires, but the people's investment. Their sweat, their blood, their struggles. Nobody cares about them. Nobody cares about the average person. You look at the media. The media is completely bought and sold. And we just allowed it to happen a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. And that's it. It's drip, 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 drip. And before you know it, the drips have all covered you, and you're sticky, and it's awful, and you can't get it off you, and you can't move anymore. So don't pay any attention to mainstream media. Instead, tune into the Vegematic channel, where you will get nothing but the unfiltered, unbiased truth, as only a curmudgeon like me can say, can tell it. So why am I here? Like most YouTubers, I didn't get enough attention as a child. So what I have done is posted a video every week, and I consider it my 15 minutes of fame. Okay, Andy Warhol, you're a liar. There's no 15 minutes of fame. There's no guarantee of it. In the future, no, you were wrong. Admit it. Oh, he can't. He's dead. Well, that happens to all of us, doesn't it? Sooner or later, you expire, you buy the farm, you push up daisies, you do all that stuff because it is the human condition. And we are obsessed with it on a subconscious level. And that's why we do all this stupid shit in the world. And I'm just gonna ramble on about this stuff because I'm a rambling kind of guy, and I like to ramble on because I like to think I'm important, and I really add up to a blip of nothing in the universe. But this is my attempt to reach out to you and say, I am somebody. I am a human being. I am a Vegematic. I am a vegetable. Okay. Now that my brain is starting to recover from excessive amounts of stimulation, I will try and give you some deep philosophical thoughts from the vault of Vegematic. One thing I can say is that moralism is definitely jealousy with a halo. I'm not sure who said that, but it was one of my favorites. And so all these people that claim to be moral, and they see people being what they consider immoral, well, they're just jealous. So to hell with them. It doesn't matter. Looks like from watching Humpty Dumpty Tribe, yes, I know it's a bad habit I developed years ago. Anyway, it looks like Hambone is set to spend the winter in northern New York. I warned him. I said, get a parka, get prepared. But instead, he's off on this like doom suicide sort of weird trip.
Oh God! The fucking life. The fucking life.
And you know, suicide is stupid because anybody that does that, I want to ride this to the end. I want to see what happens, right? It's just like, no, it's like walking out before the movie's over. It just doesn't make any sense. You want to see how the plot resolves itself. I don't think it's going to resolve itself well, but it should be interesting to watch. Hambone, don't worry, there's beautiful things about winter. Now, for every rainy, crappy, freezing day that you experience where it's gray and you only get, like, you know, a few hours of light a day and just like you just want to kill yourself. Well, the other side of it is a bright, sunny winter day with crisp shadows and beautiful bare trees and glistening in the snow, and moonlight in the snow is unbelievable. You'll love it. You'll love it. Really, it's all in adjusting your mental attitude to deal with northern climes. Now, this is very difficult for a southern person to understand. I realize that. However, I think being nervous about it is just going to make it worse. You're going to freeze your ass off anyway. If you've made it through this masterful video that I've gone to the trouble of making for you, and you don't want to slit your wrists, congratulations, you're mentally healthy. And I wish you'd let me know what that felt like. See you next week. Don't forget to leave a comment. Click on things, because for some reason the tubular algorithm likes you to click on things. The little buttons that they have around there, just click on them all. Click them on and just say, yeah, okay, subscribe, click. Just click away, okay? Just for God's sake, click. So I will be here to report on what cataclysm has reached the top of the agenda for the week. So the Doomer week, the week of the doom, week of doom, Vegematics week of doom, weeks of doom, doom weeks. Peace. People always say peace. What does it mean? It means peace. It means tranquility. It means warmth. Peace. We all long for it. In our heads, in our minds. It fills up our dream life. It passes through us and breaks wind. Yes, these are the things that make life worthwhile.